for what should have been kind of 2 weeks, and I stayed for 10 years. So,
Carried on. These are searches that are carried out when somebody buys a property.
I think the whole point is, and the goal is about having an end-to-end digital conveyancing platform.
So thinking about AI and what we've discussed, how does that ultimately benefit the end user, our clients? If you haven't got a good strong backbone, you need to quickly grow one.
And a very thick skin.
Yeah, exactly. Hello and welcome to the next edition of Fishers on the Case. This is the podcast where we talk to legal professionals, industry experts, and we talk about their lives and their career and where they touch the legal environment. I'm Amanda Payne. I'm the CEO of Fishers Solicitors here in Ashby. Today I am joined by James Nelson of Infotrack. Welcome, James.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Good to see you. So let's go right back then. We're going to talk about your legal career first, or your association with the law anyway.
Okay.
So when you were at school and you were coming to leave school, what did you want to do? What did you want to be? Nothing
to do with law, actually.
Right.
It's quite an interesting story. So fell into this industry by accident, really.
Okay.
So when I was at school, back when I was 17, learning to drive, I needed a summer job.
Right.
And my mum had just started at a local search provider.
Oh, okay.
The year before.
Right.
So I needed a summer job. So during that summer, I started there for probably a couple of weeks. I should have been there a couple of weeks just to do a bit of scanning, because back then it was all paperwork.
Yeah.
So they needed someone to come in.
Someone in the office.
A couple of hours a day.
A junior admin sort of role.
Come in, do the scanning and order coal mining reports. It was manually ordering coal mining reports back then. Okay. So I went for what should have been kind of 2 weeks, and I stayed for 10 years.
Carried on.
So I kind of fell into it, but there was things that happened during that time. That was a time when I was also at university. I didn't go to university to even study law.
What did you go to?
I went to university and I trained as a primary school teacher.
Did you
really? So I'm a fully qualified primary school teacher. And I stayed there till the end.
Yeah, and saw that through.
And I qualified. And then I worked at that search provider kind of throughout that time there, part-time while I was studying.
Okay, what, evenings, weekends, holiday times?
And kind of even if I'd got a lecture in the morning, I'd go to my lecture, and then when everyone else jumped to the pub, I'd shoot over to work.
Would you?
And then I'd work the afternoon.
Okay.
So that's how it
evolved.
Started. So that's that.
Okay. So you've mentioned the word searches. So obviously for our viewers and listeners, they might not quite understand what you and me are talking about.
Yeah,
so these are searches that are carried out when somebody buys a property.
That's right. Yeah.
So why would someone do a coal mining search then? You touched on that. What can you find out from a coal mining search?
Coal mining hazards. So they might do depends on locality as well, whether they do a coal mining search, but it's looking at things, mine entries, subsidence claims, abandoned mines, anything like that, anything in the area. So
a lot of coal mining. So certainly here in the East Midlands, we've got a lot of old areas of coal mining, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It looks historic stuff as well as the obviously stuff that's...
And that is because I suppose the ground can be unstable.
Yeah.
So sometimes there can then be movement in a property that then might need attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so to warn a buyer of that is obviously quite key, isn't it? If that was affecting the property, it might put them off, or they might have a big bill to pay in underpinning or something like that.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
important.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's the reason.
And local searches then. Mm-hmm. So tell me a bit about a local search. Why would we do one?
So local authority search is similar to kind of a coal mining search. Mm-hmm. It's a search that's done on the property, on the land, if you like, as well.
Yeah.
So it'll include local land charges. So I don't know whether it's within a smoke control area, it's in a conservation area, anything like that. It'll reveal any kind of planning permissions if the property's had any work done to it.
Yeah.
Even things like building regs, so building regulations, any new windows, gas boilers. And it's a bit of a kind of, as much as it is for you guys as the solicitor, it's for the buyer as well, to make sure that the house that they're buying, so for example, if they wanted to buy a house and they plan to do work, it was in a conservation area, they need to know that before they obviously buy the property.
Yeah, because different rules apply, don't they, to conservation areas.
Yeah, even things like road maintenance. So it's all included within that within that local
Yeah.
authority search from information that's gathered
Yeah.
from the local
From the
authority.
council.
Yeah.
And there still is more than one way of doing a local search, isn't there? A personal one and a non-personal one, an official one. Just tell us a bit about the difference.
Yeah, so there's an official local authority search. So that's obtained directly from the local authority. And then
Okay.
there's what we call a regulated local authority search. And that is still information which is obtained from the local authority,
Yeah.
but it's compiled into kind of a standardised document because every local authority, so 300 and odd local authorities, they'll all return their local authority searches, if you like, their official searches,
Yeah.
in a different format. Some even kind of still scan the documents in, I think.
Okay. So
Whereas
some are using technology and some aren't so much.
that's right.
Yeah.
It all depends how kind of far ahead they are. But the regulated is a standard format, so the information's
Okay.
collated and all put into the same kind of format each time. The data that's within the searches is absolutely identical.
It's the same.
Should be exactly the same.
Does
No
it still
difference.
mean somebody going to visit the offices of the local authorities? Does that still happen? I know it did many years ago. Does that?
That's a good
They still
question.
do it?
I think for some local authorities, yeah, but on the whole, that doesn't really happen as much anymore.
doesn't it? Right,
No,
okay.
I think that's how I first started. So when I first started my first kind of role, when I first took that
Yeah.
job, one of my first jobs was going out and searching. And back in that day, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
you would visit every local authority and someone would wheel through in a shopping trolley almost, like ring binders full of agreements, planning applications that you'd have to sift through and manually kind of
Really?
do the search. You'd be looking at the plans. I think after COVID and during COVID, that kind of changed because obviously during
Yeah.
that time,
Couldn't happen.
people couldn't go out and visit the local authority.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that manual searching. So after that time, we saw kind of a shift of local authorities where during the period of COVID where people couldn't visit, you would maybe request the data and they'd send it back.
Sort of on email.
Yeah, and kind of the local authorities that shifted to do that, once we come out the other side, they never went back, which for us was
Yes.
was
Much better.
was
isn't it?
even better.
Yeah.
So
So what sort of times do they take for a local search? Is there an average, an industry average?
they vary nationwide. Some can come back within 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
and then others could be 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even longer. The issue that we have is and it's always been an issue with like land charges departments, if you like, is they generally operate with 1-2 staff maximum, really.
Yeah.
So if they go on annual leave, they go on holiday,
Nothing gets done.
there tends to be a bit of a backlog. So it's
Yeah.
not just kind of system delays and things like that. It can be staffing and you know that as we approach Christmas, as we go through busier times,
Yeah.
if they get an influx in instructions, things take longer.
Take a lot
But
longer.
yeah, it's interesting to see there's no kind of industry standard, if you like. They're not accountable for how long they
No.
take, if you like. So they can go from a couple of days to months in some cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a workaround, isn't there? If it's acceptable to the parties involved, we can think about search insurance, indemnity insurance for
Absolutely.
the local search coming back late.
Yeah, we search delay insurance, or
Yeah.
even in some instances, no search insurance to cover off or to cover the delay, and that'll just cover any kind of adverse entries that might be
Yeah.
revealed for the client on that
And
search.
do you know
when
roughly what that
returns.
might cost? Roughly, just very roughly, on the indemnity insurance.
All depends on the value of the property.
Oh, okay.
So the premiums, if you like, they vary depending on the value of the property.
Yeah.
But it can be no search insurance. It can be as cheap as £20 maybe.
Okay. So that's quite a good solution then, isn't it, for somebody?
For those that are kind of maybe wanting to move quickly, and they've got a delayed local search where there's a delay with a local authority or anything like that.
Yeah.
That tends
Good
to
workaround.
it's a good workaround, but like you said, not always an option.
No, not if lenders don't accept it or buyers are just uncomfortable and would rather wait for the real thing to come
Absolutely.
through.
And maybe 10 years ago as well, we always had the option of lots and lots of local authorities, they offered kind of an expedite service.
Yeah, they did.
So you could pay an additional fee, which obviously clients were happy to do if they wanted to move things fast.
Bring it to the top of the pile.
Bring it to the top of the pile and have it back within a couple of days. But
Yeah.
again, after COVID and after the kind of stamp duty holidays, we saw less and less, and we saw kind of local authorities kind of withdraw that service.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any local authority that will do that now.
There's very few now which offer an official expedite service. Some allow us to mark as urgent, so if there's special circumstances, if there's there's something that's going to happen, if we don't get this search back, chains are going to collapse.
Yeah.
But it also all depends on the local authority. Some are. Will probably be more willing to do it than others.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit more about your role now at Infotrack then. What is your role? What do you do on a sort of daily basis?
So I'm an account manager at Infotrack. Day-to-day basis, I look after a portfolio of clients, customers, so it's all law firms, all solicitor law firms, and it's my job to, as well as kind of being on hand to help day to day for any kind of day-to-day queries that the team might have had. It's also kind of providing training on any new services that we're offering, introducing new products, new services, things to help make things more efficient. So we try and bring down the admin as much as we can with some of the tech that we introduce. So as much as it's about kind of introducing these new services and kind of guiding the team through that with training, it's also kind of being that point of contact. So that personal touch, still having that personal touch, so the team know that they've still got someone at the other end of the phone or an email that they can reach out to and pick up.
Yeah. Well, Fishers have used Infotrack since its inception, really, as well. So
before my time.
So we've seen how much it's grown.
Absolutely.
And what it can now do. And I know you've just celebrated your 10-year anniversary, which is fantastic.
That's right.
So we love the integration, how it integrates with HMRC for the SDLT, and, of course, the land registry for the land registry applications on a purchase afterwards.
Yeah.
And, of course, now at the beginning on a sale, again, more integration with the land registry and ordering office copies and preparing contracts. And
that's right.
And doing so much more. I mean, where's it going to end?
I think the whole point is, and the goal is, and since I started, really, it's about having an end-to-end digital conveyancing platform, if you like. So rather than just being a search provider, it's kind of almost not enough just to be a search provider now. And it's about kind of being there as that support for you guys and feeling the pain points that you guys have in terms of the amount of admin you have to do, and seeing how we can make that easier from onboarding, searches, indemnities, all the way through to that post-completion right at the end, and kind of really helping you guys with those pain points.
You mentioned the onboarding. That's quite a phrase that we use a lot in our industry, isn't it? Sort of undertaking all the tasks that we have to admin-wise for a client, looking at their ID.
Absolutely.
And source of funds and other things, which can now be done so much more easily, can't they, using the digital formats?
That's the thing, and I think that's also changed, and probably even more so after COVID again. That I think before people would do a manual AML check, or they would see the client in the office. They'd have them in. They'd bring their ID. They'd bring a utility bill. And you'd see them. But again, during the time of COVID, you couldn't have clients come into the office like you maybe did previously. So that's when kind of ECOS and electronic client onboarding really started to take off, because it was that alternative way of, we can't see the client, but you can still onboard them and you can still do it in a compliant way.
Yeah, exactly.
Because obviously the danger back then was you could, in terms of getting the ID from the client, you couldn't see them. It's not compliant for you to take a scanned copy of that ID via email or anything like that. So that was kind of, I think that's when ECOS onboarding really started
took off, didn't it?
To take off.
Yeah.
And it's
we still get some
fast.
clients push back a little bit with it. They're not comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
But of course, other professions use it. Banks use it. You know, if you need to open a new bank account, you'll have to go through the same sort of process, won't you? So,
and I think we'll eventually get to the stage where electronic client onboarding will be the only way to onboard. From a compliance point of view for you guys as well, it's as much there to protect you guys as anything else.
Yeah.
So I think eventually we will get to that point, and I'm actually quite surprised when you look at, because I think that's always kind of not a problem but a point of resistance. People will always say, "Oh, I don't think our clients will take to that."
Yeah.
We've got older clients. We look after an older generation. And I don't think, and I think people actually surprise themselves with actually how many people. Most people have an email address now. Most people, and if they can't do it themselves, they'll have got a family member that can help them do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots and lots of firms now, it's the only way that they will onboard. They'll only onboard a client if they can onboard electronically from a kind of risk and compliance point of view.
So have you got a clear career path within Infotrack then? Can you grow yourself? Have you got any further ambitions? And
at the moment, I'm happy where I am.
Doing what you're doing?
I think the progression for me was moving to Infotrack.
Okay.
Because the 10 years that I had previously, I was in a customer service type role. So while I was at in my other role, I managed their customer services team, and then I managed that throughout COVID and throughout the stamp duty holiday.
Yeah.
And I think when we got to the end of that, I think that for me was the kind of the turning point, or the I need a change. I need to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So the progression for me was kind of moving from that kind of customer service role to this role in Infotrack as an account manager, which it was strange. I think I applied for it one night I'd had one of those nights where I'd kind of worked for 12 hours and I just had enough, and I was just a bit like, I did think I'd get it, because on the you needed all this kind of sales experience, and at that point I'd no sales experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I applied anyway.
Did you?
And I remember I had an interview, and then I went to meet Tom, my manager, and he took a chance, and I'm forever grateful for him taking that chance. And that was my kind of, I felt that as my progression
into this.
And it completely opened my eyes, because back in my other role, we were a search provider, but we kind of only did searches. And then when I came to Infotrack, I kind of saw how it all pieced together.
Yes.
I got to know more about the conveyancing process.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Seeing it from start to finish, rather than searches is just it's
one
an important
aspect,
part,
isn't it?
but it's just one very small part of that.
So
progression-wise, into that as an account manager.
Yeah, that's good.
Who knows for the future?
Who knows? You know, at Infotrack, are there any employed or ex-lawyers or conveyancers that help with moving on to the next techie thing?
That's a good question.
That happens.
As well as working...
How do you know what's needed and what's next? That's what I suppose I was really getting to.
Yeah, that's a good question. As well as kind of... There's two ways, really. So obviously we work with clients like you. So when I come out and see you guys every few months, and we'll sit around the table and we'll talk about what's new.
Yeah.
And then you and the team will fire back all the suggested improvements.
Yeah.
This was working really well. This is what we need to improve on. This is something that we'd suggest. Can you incorporate this?
Okay.
That's one good way in which we get our feedback.
Yeah.
The other way is that on certain teams, on our product team, for example, they hire kind of conveyancers, lawyers, especially with products like more complex products, so like property report, for example.
Yeah.
They hire specialists, so former conveyancers, to really help with what actually goes into a property report.
Okay, yeah.
And they did that most recently when they when we launched the kind of updates to our property report on leasehold reporting.
Yeah.
So obviously being able to
Yeah, it's a more complex area, isn't it?
upload the leasehold related documents and kind of populate that into a property report, into a lease report. They invited a group of lawyers, a group of conveyancers into our Waterloo office in London, and the team just said, we want you to produce your lease report as you would now, and we just want to watch you do it. Because they wanted to see exactly what documents you have to review to be able to produce that document.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things they found in doing that was, when you're producing a report on the lease, it's not just the lease that you have to review. There was the LP1, there was the TA forms.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it was, they do a lot of work with conveyancers, as well as kind of they also hire them, like I said, to obviously help with knowing what's next. But a lot of it, I'd probably say 80% of kind of the stuff that we need to know of how do we get from where we are now to make this better, or to get it where we want to be. It comes from feedback from you guys. So when we go out, because obviously if it doesn't work for you guys,
we're not going to want to use it, are we?
Absolutely. So it's really, really important that it works for you. So that's why, and that's part of my role. So when I come out and see you, that's why I might badger you for feedback over and over again. But that's why it's so important, because if it doesn't work, or there's something that needs tweaking, it's kind of
And how much are Infotrack using AI now? Have they started on that sort of bandwagon, using lots of new sorts of technology that's becoming available?
Yeah, I think AI is getting bandied about quite a lot.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And I think some, if you talk to some firms, they're probably scared if you talk about AI. And I think Infotrack, they want to use AI, but they want to use it for a specific reason, to serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Rather than say we use AI for using AI's sake. It's kind of, we want to use it, but we want to use it for a specific purpose. It's got to solve a problem. It's got to help you guys.
Yes.
So this technology now that's built in the background, so on property report and AP1 submissions, reading of the deed documents, so uploading your deed documents when you're submitting an AP1.
Yeah. So there's some AI in the background that's helping with
There's
that.
the technology there, and more recently, obviously, with the launch of our new inquiries, we're doing exactly the same with that as well. So it's kind of, once we kind of find and build the technology, we've got an amazing development and product team that work day in, day out to kind of to get it right. Once we've kind of got that, it's how we then can apply that across the rest of the platform. So we launch it on one product, and it's how can we take what we've got there and then make it seamless throughout the process for you guys.
Yeah. All right. So thinking about AI and what we've discussed, how does that ultimately benefit the end user, our clients?
I think from the end user's perspective, it's kind of, it creates the efficiencies, the time savings for you guys, in the hope that it will lead to a smoother, faster moving transaction.
Yeah, all clients want those.
All clients want those. So it's kind of, if we can help you save some time on some and reduce that admin burden through some of those kind of time saving tools, that hopefully the end user, your clients, will also reap the benefit of that.
Yeah, having the information a lot quicker.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Brilliant. Yeah, good. Well, I've asked you a lot of questions and you've given a lot of great answers. Would you like to ask me something?
Ooh. Yes, go on then.
Okay, go on then. I'm ready.
If you've got one piece of advice for someone that's starting out in conveyancing, the brand new starting out in conveyancing,
oh, goodness.
What would that piece of advice be?
Make sure that you are of a strong character to be able to cope with client demands, I think would be my piece of advice.
Yeah, I think even more so in this.
It's getting tough out
It is.
there.
It is. It's very tough out there.
Yeah, we've lost some very good conveyancers and solicitors in recent years. They've gone off to do other things or taken early retirement, or one's gone to be a support lawyer in the background, so not be client facing, and it's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough industry to be in.
It's tough.
So,
yes, if you haven't got a good strong backbone, you need to quickly grow
and a very thick skin.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's something I learnt quite quickly. I was probably coming quite naive at age of 17, quite naive and quite shy. But yeah, I think in this industry, you soon. I think as well. I think it's experience and knowledge. Like 10 years ago, not that knowledge, not that experience, but the more experience you get, I think it comes with time and experience.
It does. Yes, it does. Yeah, definitely. So you can't always have that on day one. Obviously, you have to grow into that.
You
but
do.
You have to be, I think, a certain character to be able to cope in this environment.
Yeah, high pressure.
High pressure, yeah.
Absolutely.
High stress, high pressure.
Definitely.
And you need to do it with a smile.
Yeah, always. Always. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, James. It's been really good to talk to you today. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.